Hey guys, got another story for you. It was late October in the Olympic Peninsula, the kind of damp cold that seeps into your bones no matter how many layers you wear. Marcus had driven out from Tacoma to scout a remote section of old growth forest for his hunting lease. Nothing fancy, just a weekend alone with a rifle, a tent, and the quiet he craved after a brutal year at the mill. He parked the truck at the end of a washed out logging road around dusk, shouldered his pack, and he started hiking the overgrown trail that followed an unnamed creek. The map said the area hadn't been logged since the 70s. No cell service, no footprints but his own. Perfect. By the time full dark settled in, he'd set up camp in a small clearing ringed by massive cedars and hemlocks. Fog rolled off the water like smoke. He built a small fire, ate freeze-dried chili, and sat listening to the forest breathe, drips from the canopy, the occasional barred owl calling in the distance. Nothing unusual. Around 2:17 a.m., he checked his watch because the time would later matter. He woke up suddenly. Not from a sound exactly, more like the absence of sound. The crickets had stopped. The creek seemed quieter, as if it were holding its breath. He lay in the tent, eyes open, heart picking up speed. Then he heard it, a single heavy footstep. Not close, maybe 30 yards away, but deliberate. Deep enough that the ground seemed to absorb it rather than echo. Crunch, pause, crunch. He told himself it was a bear. Black bears were common here, but bears don't walk like that. Bears shuffle, they root, they make noise because they don't care who hears. This was careful, measured, almost watchful. Marcus unzipped the tent flap slowly. The fire had burned down to coals, throwing a faint orange light maybe 10 feet in any direction. Beyond that, solid black laced with fog. He grabbed the rifle, loaded a .308, safety off, and crawled out on his knees, sweeping the beam of his headlamp across the trees. Nothing. Then the smell hit him. Wet fur like a dog left out in the rain for days, mixed with something sour and musky. Not quite skunk, not quite garbage. Primal. Another step closer this time. To his left, behind the biggest cedar. He swung the light. There, half hidden by the trunk and the mist, something enormous stood motionless. It was tall, easily 8 feet, maybe more, shoulders broader than any linebacker he'd ever seen, covered in dark, matted fur that looked black in the beam, but caught reddish undertones when the light glanced off it. Long arms hanging almost to its knees. The head was massive, sloped, no visible neck. It didn't move when the light hit it. It just stared. Marcus's mouth went dry. That thing's eyes reflected red for a split second. Taped them, low-seed them, like a cat or deer. Then it blinked slowly, once, deliberate. He should have shot every instinct, screamed it. Instead, he froze, rifle half raised, because part of his brain was still trying to classify what he was seeing. Bear. No. Man in a suit. Impossible out there, miles from anywhere in the middle of the night. The creature tilted its head slightly, the way a curious dog might. Then it made a sound. Not a roar, not a growl. A low, rolling vocalization that started in the chest and vibrated the air itself. Half sigh, half rumble, ending in something that almost sounded like a question. It lasted maybe 4 seconds. Marcus felt it in his ribcage. He took one step backward. The thing mirrored him. Took one long step forward. That's when he ran. He didn't scream, didn't look back, just bolted for the trail, headlamp bouncing wildly, branches whipping his face. Behind him he heard it move, not chasing full speed, but following. Heavy, unhurried footfalls keeping perfect pace with his panicked sprint. Every time he risked a glance over his shoulder, the beam caught glimpses, a massive shape gliding between trees, always just at the edge of the light. He made it to the truck in under 10 minutes, lungs burning, fumbled the keys, slammed the door, locked it like that would help, turned the engine over and floored it down the rutted road, tires spitting gravel in the rearview mirror for maybe 2 seconds before the trees swallowed the view. He saw it, standing in the middle of the road where he parked, not running after him, just watching, head tilted again. When he finally hit pavement and cell service 20 miles later, he pulled over and sat shaking for a half an hour before he could even call anyone. He never went back for the tent or gear, never filed a report, told only his brother, who laughed until Marcus showed him a single photo he managed to snap on his phone during the frozen moment by the cedar. The image is blurry, fog, bad focus, low light, but you can make out the shape, towering, broad red eye shine, staring into the lens. Marcus sold the rifle 6 months later. Said he didn't trust his hands around guns anymore. He still dreams about that sound, the low rumble that felt like a question he never answered. And sometimes driving through the Cascades at night, he swears he smells wet fur on the wind. Thanks, guys, for listening to the story and my speech impediments. Sorry, there's nothing I can do about that. I've tried. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Like, subscribe, share, thumbs up, thumbs down. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.